Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Movie Review Time with Phil Berry. I'm your host, Phil Berry. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite films. It is the critically acclaimed 1986 James Cameron's Aliens. Stick around. Now, before we get started, I wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about myself. Um, I've been a movie lover as far back as I can remember. A lot of the movies that I'm going to review are going to be older movies that made a huge impact on me as a child, as an adult. A lot of these movies molded me into the man that I am today, and I want to share that with you. But I'm also not going to be biased. I'm going to review newer films as well for the current generation and next generation of cinephiles. Now, I can't go any further without discussing how some of the cast is no longer with us. And one of those actors, Bill Paxton, he was one of my all-time favorite actors. I always wanted to meet Bill Paxton. He's been in a lot of James Cameron films. He's been in a lot of other popular movies like Twister. And it was really sad for me when he passed away and knowing that I'll never get to meet him. So I do want to talk about him just for a minute. His character Hudson in the movie, he makes the movie for me. His reaction, his overconfidence. He's the loudest guy in the room until the stuff hits the fan, if you will. Once it hits the fan, he falls apart. He's very animated. Ellen Ripley has to kind of slap him around a bit and get his head in the game, really. And he was so great in the movie. And I just wanted to say rest in peace to Bill Paxton. All of his fans keep his memory alive when we continue to support his movies. So that's all I really had to say about that. I just wanted to give the man his props because like I said, he was one of my favorite actors of all time. Although Aliens is a sequel to the 1979 Ridley Scott film Alien, James Cameron did something very important with his sequel. It doesn't retread any old territory. Part 1 was more of a suspenseful, slow burn kind of horror science fiction film. Part 2, which is James Cameron's version, is a action movie. It's a science fiction movie. It's an ensemble cast. It's a totally different feeling when you watch it from the original. And one thing that he did so well is that Aliens really stands on its own. It's really its own movie. You don't have to watch Alien, although I do recommend it. Aliens really explains what happens in the first Alien film very well, to the point that you know what's going on. It does take place 57 years later. Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, wakes up from cryosleep. And the company, Weyland-Yutani, no one really believes her story. No one believes what happened to her and her crew. They almost treat her as if she's guilty of something until on LV 426, the moon that the original ship from the Nostromo crash landed on, it went dark. And then they need to consult with Ellen Ripley to go with the Colonial Marines, and she begrudgingly does. So this time she's more prepared. This time she has the Marines on her side, but she also knows what's coming, or she thinks she does. In the first Alien film, there's a single xenomorph. In this version, there's a whole colony of them, because basically every person that was on that moon, except for one, a 9-year-old little girl named Newt, she's the only survivor. So they have to go, and they really don't know what they're in for. And when the Marines come in, they're very brash, they're overconfident, and Ellen is very reserved. She is very much aware of the danger that they're in. So when the Marines do go in and they get ambushed, they're not prepared for what's coming. So they all have to cut and run. Ellen Ripley really has to take the mantle as the leader of that outfit. The person that's in charge, it's their first mission. He's still a rookie himself. Ellen Ripley has to basically push him out of the way and start taking orders. Like she has to start commanding the team to get back to where they are so they can regroup. A lot of the cast gets taken out very early on, and it comes down to like a core group to go forward from there, and it's just a lot of fun. If you haven't seen Alien, it's turning 40 this year. What are you doing? You really need to go and watch this movie. It's so fun. I recommend you watch the original. I love all of the Alien films. They're so good. They're so important to cinema history. So definitely go out, check out Aliens. My favorite version is the special edition. It's the 1990 cut. That is also James Cameron's favorite version of the film as well. What that version does is it adds a little bit of a backstory to Ellen Ripley. It shows that she was a mother and her daughter passed away while she was in cryosleep. So when she meets with Newt later in the film, it's almost as if she's reuniting with her daughter. She really bonds with Newt. Newt bonds with her. They have a mother-daughter relationship, and it's just a new element to the story. It gives Ellen something else to fight for other than herself. She becomes that strong mother heroine, and it's so good. It's so good. I cannot tell you how much I love this movie. Definitely check it out. Although this is an Aliens review, I can't help but go back to Alien just a little bit. In the first Alien film, there was an android, and his name is Ash, and he malfunctions on the ship. So in this film, Ellen Ripley wants no part of any android, and Bishop, played by Lance Henriksen, he is one of my all-time favorite actors. I've met him. He could not have been nicer to me. We had a long, great conversation about a lot of his films, and so when she meets Bishop, she's very untrusting, but over the course of the film, he really earns her trust. Toward the end of the movie, the home stretch, if you will, the pace really picks up. And that's one thing that I love, is just the pacing, the suspense, the build-up. And James Cameron really did something special with this one. He expanded on the lore of the Xenomorph, and you actually are introduced to the alien queen. She is much larger than the rest of the Xenomorph. They act as if they're in a hive mind. So it's really cool. Ellen has to get inside of a loader machine to get on equal footing, if you will, to fight with the Xenomorph. And Bishop, again, puts himself in harm's way. He gets attacked. It's just a wild ride. I don't want to over spoil it if you haven't seen the movie, because I definitely, once you get done with this review, please go out and watch this movie. Another thing about this film is I was such a fan of it that in 2024, Creator VC, they did a fan-funded documentary about Aliens called Aliens Expanded, which I was a backer of and actually have a credit at the end credits of the film. It was the first time that I'd ever done anything like that, but it was important to me to give it a try. And I have to say the documentary itself was great to watch as a fan, but to see my name at the end of the credits, being a part of something as significant as the Aliens movie and being a part of that franchise that I love so dearly, nothing could beat that. That was the best feeling in the world for me. So I highly recommend it. You can go to Creator VC or get online, Aliens Expanded. There should be links to be able to go and purchase the documentary. I highly recommend it if you are a fan of the Alien franchise. They did a fantastic job. A lot of the original cast came back to do new interviews for this documentary. So definitely check them out. They were great. They did an amazing job. So that's all for this episode. I'm going to get better. I will get better over time. The more I do this, I'll get more comfortable in front of the camera. I'll get better at my editing skills. And once I do this long enough, I plan to revisit and reshoot some of my earlier videos like this one. Because, like I said over and over, Aliens, it's one of my favorite films. I'll definitely love to revisit. And I'll definitely want to redo the video with better editing, with more animations, without as many filler words. I'm my own worst critic, and I am smart enough to know that I'm not the best reviewer out there yet, but I plan to be in the future. Please continue to support me, like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.